Well, good evening and welcome to what is going to be a pretty short episode for On the Bank Angling. I've recently acquired permission to fish some virgin waters that haven't been touched for over 10 years. And the fish are going to be quite cagey, so I'm going to start pre-baiting a bit. And a quick, cheap and easy way to do this is to use pigeon conditioner, Vitalin, and various other bits and bobs. So I'm just going to run you through what I'm going to be using when I make my with what I'm going to pre-bait with. So every other night I'm going to fill a 3 kilo bucket with this, and I'm going to go and put it in a couple of spots. I'm going to give it a few days, maybe a week, before I start fishing on it, but obviously I'll keep the bait going in every other day anyway. So the great thing about pigeon conditioner is all you have to do is soak it, because it's got no hemp in it. You don't have to cook it to open up the seeds, and it's full of aniseed and it smells beautiful, and the longer you leave it soaking, the better it is. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put a scoop of the pigeon conditioner in. The next vital ingredient, vital, is Vitalin. I put a scoop of that in. And then I'm going to put a handful of my nuts, back banana boilies. I'm just going to grab them. I'll put them up here. Up here is where I keep all my sort of like, flavourings and oils and bits and bobs, and a couple of air drying cages and some feeders. So the next thing, obviously I'm going to be fishing with my own bait in there. So if we just keep that going in with it. So put a handful of that in there. Maybe a little bit more, and then fish sauce. We all know I love me fish sauce. Just caught Quish a £27 catfish, putting it in his thing as well, so that's always good. So load of that go in there. That'll really help it ferment as well and start to really smell good. And we know I like a bit of hemp oil as well. So a bit of hemp oil go in there, not a huge amount, you don't need a lot. Because the next bit, I'll show you exactly what's going to make it all dissipate. So put a little tiny dribble of that in. Dribble. Don't even know what one of those is. Right, and then just keep your consistencies even, so, another scoop now of pigeon conditioner. Another scoop of Vitalin. Another handful or so of boilies. Sorry, the lighting's not great in here, but hopefully you can kind of see what I'm getting at. And a handful of the boilies. Obviously you just play it by your ear. Obviously you might have different things you want to put in there. Chuck everything in there. Give us a bit of a shout and let us know what you put in your mix. It'd be interesting to see. A little bit more of that fish sauce. Splodge more of this hemp oil. And then finally, another quick scoop of both. Now this will all swell up when it takes on the water, so you don't want to overfill the bucket, because otherwise you won't be able to get the lid on and it will all fill over the top. So that's plenty. I've left a lot of room in there. Once I've soaked it and everything, that's going to come up to about here in the bucket. Once it's all swollen up, and then it'll be ready to just feed in. I'm just going to feed the lot in tomorrow. Put a couple more boilies in there. I need to get them onto the bait, so I need to get them used to just grazing on this and then finding my boilies and associating them as a food item and picking them up. So that's it all in the bucket, and then on to the next step. So a lot of people like to soak their bait in lake water, but for me, I like to do it when I'm at home. I like to get a boiling hot kettle, just fill the bucket up with boiling water. I'm going to get another kettle and I'll start recording again in a second. As you can see, I mean, I've only just gone to put the other kettle on, and already I've come back, and you know, it was a second ago it was up to, the water was up to here, but it's very quickly soaking in and it's absorbing all that water. It's probably going to take about 3 kettles full to actually soak this fully. So I'll put the other 2 kettles full in and then I'll report back. So I've put the second kettle full of water in now, and that's going to be plenty. I don't know where I thought I was going to put 3 kettles, which was 1.5 litres into a what is essentially a 3 litre bucket, but I've overfilled past the grains and everything by probably about ½ an inch, and obviously you can see already that bits of the vitelline are starting to swell and starting to sort of mush up. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to leave that, and all that will absorb all that water. Well, it's very important that you prepare particles correctly. You know, if they're not prepared correctly, they won't be releasing all the sort of attractants that you actually want to release into the water to get your fish to feed, but also, you know, it's potentially harmful to the fish when they eat them. There's the possibility that they may swell inside the fish's stomach, make them ill. So it's essential that you give them a good pre-soaking. If you're using hemp or other seeds, it's essential that you cook them properly before you use them. Give them a good boil until all the shells have split. But yeah, this is, I've filled that up with the kettle now, and now what I'll do, I'll pop the lid on that so it keeps the heat in, and I'll just pop that down there on the side, and then I'll give it an hour or so. I'll give it a good stir, and then I'll leave it overnight, and then tomorrow evening I'll take it down to the pond that I'm going to be, you know, fishing. I'm going to go around with a blank stick, and I'm going to find some water that's, you know, fairly even. I'm going to have a good prod about around in the margins and see what I can find, because I think I'm going to fish mostly in the margins. I'm just going to start putting the bait down particular spots and just see if a fish take it, and we'll go from there. But that's how I prepare my particle. So if you guys fancy, you know, leaving your suggestions as to how I can improve my particle mix in the comments section down below, then that would be brilliant. And if you enjoyed the video or found it useful, then give us a like and subscribe for further videos. Thank you very much for watching.